Alright guys, thanks for clicking on the video. If you want to learn how to do a sidewalk, concrete sidewalk, this is a good video to watch right here. This is kind of a DIY type project, but you really need to know what you're doing to make this thing come out right. First thing I want to say, if you're new to watching my videos, please consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, put new sub in the comments and I enter you into a drawing to win some of the gear we're wearing, like the hoodies, t-shirts, hats, stuff like that. You'll get entered into that drawing. I do a drawing a week, so please consider subscribing. Now this project right here, we're actually doing 3 pours today on this project. This video is part 1, so I'm just showing you the front sidewalk. There's actually another piece behind us that's a little bit more of a ramp and a sidewalk put together. And then there's a concrete patio down back, and we're broom finishing all of them. We're cutting joints and all of them, doing an edger and all of them. So you get to see a lot of finishing work on these 3 videos if you subscribe. So what we did was this woman had some patio blocks here before that just weren't doing it. They were old, they were out of level. So we hired our excavator guy to come in. He came in with a skid steer, and him and his crew kind of removed all the patio blocks. They dug down about a foot and put in some gravel, and here we're at. We came in, we did the forms, put in the wire mesh. We're using our exterior concrete mix. Now if you want to learn more about this in detail, like, you can join the Concrete Underground. That's my training center. I got videos in there that just like this one. Matter of fact, I might put this one in there as a training video. I go into a lot more detail about how we do certain things, what to look for, the way to get a really good finish on stuff, the timing of finishing and all that stuff. So they're similar to these videos, but a lot more detailed. But right now you're just going to get to see how we do this. This is about 28 feet by 4 feet. And we came, basically straight off the stairs into the driveway. There is a little bit of a slope to this from the house down to the driveway. And then what will happen after this, after we get done, is, we'll strip the forms off today. And then some of the original ground that was used to dig out of here, they'll end up putting back along the sides to kind of reshape the sides and make everything look really nice afterwards. It's really late in the fall here in Maine. Probably won't get any grass seed growing late this fall, but they can just do that in the springtime. Now we're using our exterior concrete mix today. It has air entrainment in it for freezing and thawing. And you'll get to see a little bit later in the video, you'll get to see a certain type of chemical, like a spray, we add to the concrete. You'll see it here after we get done pouring. We kind of spray it on. And I'll explain a little bit about why we use that, but again, that really detailed stuff about finishing and all that is in the Concrete Underground. So we're just making sure, as you can see, we were pulling up the wire really good, and we got fiber mesh in the concrete too. So there's 2 types of reinforcement, and all the exterior stuff we do has 2 types of reinforcement. Either we'll use wire mesh or we'll use a matter rebar and the fiber mesh. And that seems to work really good for the stuff we do here in Maine. As long as, your sub base has good gravel under it, that works really good. Now it's just as simple as, we're running the screed right off the top of the forms. We use a laser level to set these forms up, so we get the right slope on them. We get, everything slopes away from the house. Sometimes it'll slope from one side, left or right, to the other too, depending on the landscaping and stuff like that. We just, we don't want the concrete sidewalk setting up too high. Now it does look, the sidewalk, actually, if you look at it from this angle, it looks a little bit lower than the grass. Back there where I'm standing, I'm in the yellow. It's actually not. We made sure that the level of the sidewalk matches the grass level back there, or even maybe just a tiny bit higher. So when we do the backfilling after we're done, the sidewalk doesn't sit lower than the grass. It doesn't, but it does look at it from this angle here. We're just screeding it down, making sure the top of the form is clean when we run the screed over it, and we don't want to get too much concrete in here. And like I said, we got another project way in the back. You can kind of see some plastic back there. Up back by my pickup truck, there's a green power buggy back there. We're going to use that for the patio down back. But there's another little walkway we're doing that sits right back on the other side of the house. And you know, that's why we're pretty careful. We got a little bit too much concrete in here, but we can just put it right back in the power buggy, then dump it in. Either dump it in that next little walkway, or we can bring it down back, put it in the patio. So for this walk right here, like, we're going to be hand tooling joints. You'll get to see some of that. There's definitely a method and a good timing part as far as doing that, depending on how firm the concrete is. We'll do some edging on it. We'll pull a broom across it. When we do broom finishes on concrete, we're looking for a certain texture for a sidewalk like this, and you know, it could be a little bit different texture than maybe around a broom. Probably very similar texture to a patio, an outside patio. We just want to make sure it's slip resistant and people aren't going to slip on it when it's wet. Now here's the chemical I'm talking about that I spray on. It's kind of a finishing aid, and we just want to mist some of it on, and it helps when you go to finish the concrete. When you're pouring cold weather concrete in cold weather, you know, sometimes the mix has a little bit of a stickiness to it. It doesn't want to close up as nice as possible when it's warmer out. So we'll use this finishing aid, and it does not hurt the concrete. It actually helps strengthen it a little bit. And then we can, you know, just kind of float that in. As we float it in, it helps get a really nice smooth surface on the concrete. And that's, you know, that's what you need before you start finishing the concrete. You want to close this stuff up. Now, a lot of times we'll use a bow float, right? And we will use one on the patio down back, but the width of this was the exact same width as of the bow float, so it was just as easy to mag float this stuff and close it up. Actually, it was probably a little bit easier to mag float it and close it up because of the surface tension on the concrete versus it would have been, you know, trying to use a bow float here, because the bow float would have been riding a little bit on top of the forms. So now we know by closing up the surface really nice and tight, making it nice and smooth, that we can leave it for a little while, because we got this other walkway we got to pour, right? We got the back patio down back we got to pour, so we can leave this set for a little while. And we know that as cold as it is outside, like, the concrete companies are using warm to hot water in the concrete, and we put accelerator in it too. Now, today's temperatures are only in the 30s, in the high 30s. They're not going to get below freezing tonight, so we don't have to worry about covering this. But it is really cold out, and is just a tiny bit of wind. You can't really see it here, but there's a little wind, so that kind of plays a part in the finishing process. So we got the other two pieces poured. Again, you know, you can see those on part 2 and part 3. And then we're measuring out for the joints. Now we know that if we're about 4 feet wide, we like making the joints, you know, at least 4 feet, sometimes 5 feet, depending on how many squares we want in here or rectangles we want. But you don't want to go over, if it's 4 feet wide, we don't like going over 6 feet in width here on these joints. It's just our rule of thumb. We don't like going more than, you know, twice the width. So twice the width, right, would be about 8 feet long, and 1.5 times the width is about 6 feet long. So we like keeping it under 1.5. That's just our rule of thumb, and that works really good for, you know, aesthetics as well as crack control too. Like, we're putting these in here because we want, if the concrete's going to crack, we want to make sure it cracks in this joint. So they got to be deep enough, number one, and they got to be close together enough that the concrete's going to want to crack in here if it does tend to want to shrink.
Looks like you always want to go that way, just stay here.
Now we're just cutting them in using hand joiners, right? You could cut them in. We got walk behind joiners with a handle. You can cut them in with that. We got a missile groover. We could cut them in with that. And again, all these other tools you'll learn about in the concrete underground if you join that. But right now, this is just the basic way, the most simplest way on stuff that's really, we consider this pretty small and not very wide, is, you know, just use a straight edge little hand joiner there. And one guy could do this pretty easily too, but, you know, since we got plenty of time on our hands because we're waiting for the concrete to set up on the other 2 pours, we just got one guy on each side of this with the exact same depth of joiner, just cutting them in. Now we'll measure the length of this, and then we'll decide, okay, how many squares do we want? Do we want 4 squares or 5 squares? And then we'll get that inches and we'll divide it by that, you know. So we'll divide it by, okay, 5, and that kind of gets us our dimensions here of each square, like our length of each square. And we know that the very last square to the right here is just a little bit wider because of the angle. We had to change the angle of the very end of the sidewalk to kind of match the angle of the driveway a little bit, so when they plow, you know, they're not going to be out into the sidewalk at all. They'll miss the sidewalk. Plus, we just kind of wanted that, has a kind of a curve to it, the driveway, as you can see. So we wanted the end of the sidewalk here to line up with the end of the sidewalk on the, that's kind of in behind us that you can't see too. So there's a couple things going on with that last square. So again, closing up the surface again. The concrete's firmed up quite a bit. Just getting another pass on it to make smoothing it out, cleaning up the joints a little bit, putting the edge on it right here with an edger, and you know, just giving it the basic picture frame look for now. And then we'll get through this process, and there's still, you know, there's a bunch of little steps to go through to get it to right where we want it. And you know, we're kind of right in the middle of the steps right now. The timing on this stuff is really critical, like timing the joints. You can't cut them in too early, or they'll just kind of fill back in behind the joiner and they'll end up being kind of wavy a little bit. So you want to make sure the concrete's at a certain firmness before you cut those joints in, and they end up a lot cleaner, a lot straighter looking, and it's a lot less work. If the concrete has a little bit of firmness, it'll hold its shape. Same with the edging. Like if you edge too early, you can really mess that edge up. You could tilt it so it tilts, you know, one way or the other. You want to keep that edge nice and flat like we're doing right now. Kind of cut that edge and just round it off. And there's a way to make those edges come out really nice. And there's a little trick to it. You can see we're cleaning off. One of the little finisher tip is we're cleaning off the form, anything on top of the form, as we're doing the magging and the edging right here, and that's just going to help keep things kind of neat and clean as you finish the project. Plus, when you go strip the forms too, you know, you don't want any concrete overlapping onto your form. Then you could peel off a little piece of the surface when you go to strip your forms. That sidewalk I think if I remember right, in 28 feet it had about 6 inches of slope from the stairs to the driveway. So it has a good little slope to it. And you can kind of see it here in the video. But not so much slope that it's definitely, you know, well within code, even though there's no code enforcement officer coming out here to check this out today. It's just basically a homeowner project here, and you know, we kind of we got the stairs to go by, right? Like we want to try to keep that about a 7-inch step from the sidewalk up to the first step, kind of like the rest of her steps. And then we don't want to get up too much higher than the driveway. We want to kind of match the height of the driveway too. So we were kind of making this walkway match both ends. And it ended up being about 6 inches of slope, so it's not too bad. So after we went and did some of this same stuff, you know, the jointing, the edging, the magging on the other two pieces, you know, we let this set up even more. And it's getting to a point now where we feel like, okay, this stuff's pretty firm. Even though it's super cold outside, the stuff's pretty firm. It's getting ready to almost pass the broom across it to see what it looks like. Now, there's a certain type of texture when we broom finish concrete that we're looking for. We want to make sure it's a nice, tight, smooth, if that makes sense, a nice, tight, not really a smooth looking broom, but a light to medium looking broom. And if you broom it too early, then you end up still rolling some of the aggregate. There's very fine aggregate in this concrete. Like there's rocks in here about 1/8 of an inch in width, you know, 3/16 of an inch in width, that are really small. And if you broom it too early, you're going to roll those rocks on the surface. So you'll have kind of a rolled, very small rolled aggregate look plus the broom finish look. And we definitely don't like that. We like to just kind of broom the surface cream, the surface paste, without getting any of those rocks rolling. And that's what gives you your really nice professional broom look. And a lot of guys, I don't know, it just seems like they'll push and pull across here and they'll really give you an aggressive looking broom finish. And personally, that's just my personal preference. I don't like doing that. We just like pulling the broom across right after we get done mag floating this. Like, we'll mag float this out 3 times if we have to. Because it's got air entrainment in it in Maine, we don't generally steel trowel anything. We don't put a Fresno on it and close that surface up really tight, because it has the chance to trap some of the air entrainment under the surface even after running a broom across it. We found, just from experience, we found that. So we'll just mag float everything out, kind of keep the surface open, but make sure it's really tight and firm before we broom it. And then we get this really nice looking broom finish look. So to finish this off, I didn't get this part on the video, but I did get it on the patio down below. We'll just run the edger, put a finished edge on this, kind of smooth that edge off, but we won't do it on the grooves. The grooves are done here, and that'll give it like a finished look, kind of a picture frame look that looks done, like it looks finished. So it gives the customer like a wow look. And then again, like, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Make sure you put new sub down in the comments. If you want to learn how to do this stuff step by step, there's a link for the Concrete Underground down in the description. Make sure you check out these 2 videos popping up right here also.